born in a city called Patiala, most
Kutteri.
famous for, as they say, we taught the world how to drink. College time, best times. साढ़े कुछ नहीं होता सी कॉलेज में जब अटेंड नहीं करना होता था स्कूटर बाइक निकालो अपने अपने उनको अपहिल
ऐसा कुछ होता है कि इज देयर एन एस्केप वेलोसिटी कि आपको 18-20 घंटे काम करना पड़ता है, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है until you get to a certain place and then life becomes easier.
life. If you do not understand my silence, you will not understand my words. My cousin, he used to work for Air India. There is this new company in logistics. मैं कहा एयरपोर्ट भेजेंगे? हाँ, जहाज देखूंगा हाँ, चले जा. मैं भी चला गया इंटरव्यू किया. They gave me a job, but I just fell in love with the industry.
Were you learning all of this from? Did you have a mentor? Because there was no Coursera or YouTube at the time.
I was somewhere, I try and define that lower limit as well. And also train my mind to say that even if I have some luxuries, tomorrow they are not, I should be happy in that.
How does it, being aware of your mortality, help you live a better life? Welcome back to the Find Your Laughter podcast. In this episode, we're meeting Sundaresh Saroop, who's the founder of Logistics Plus, which is one of the largest logistics companies in India. He is also the co-founder of DRG, Delhi Runners Group, which is one of the largest communities in North India especially. He's also led a photography group and he's helped many people in many different ways. You'll hear that through the conversation. So without further ado, tune in. Before we get into the episode, I have a quick favor to ask from you. Find Your Ultra podcast is not just a podcast for me. It's a learning journey. It's my outlet. It's my life project. I'm committed to doing this. We may have missed a few episodes due to technology failure or just life happens. But we are totally committed to this. We want to make this big. We're in this for the long term and we need your support. Like I've stopped asking for support and I've realized when I don't ask people to subscribe, people don't subscribe. Please, it's a free favor that I'm asking you to do. It does not cost you anything. It's a zero cost way of supporting the podcast. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and share the video with whoever you think will find this useful. Please do that. I commit to you. In return, we'll make the podcast bigger and the guests will be bigger and the quality of the conversations, the production, every single thing will be better. Please do this favor. It goes a long way, a long way in helping us build this show. And the show will get bigger only if you support. There's no other way. Please support. Will you? Thank you. Sundaresh Bhaji, welcome to the Find Your Ultra podcast. बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपने टाइम निकाला. मतलब इतना फॉर्मल सा साउंड कर रहा हूँ मैं, बट you've always been like, तो जब बोले यार, you've been so nice always. There is, so you're not a regular listener of podcasts anyway, but the podcast community knows that it's good to have interesting people around. And you've certainly been, I've known you over the years, personally, closely, and there is so much that I think that I can learn from you. तो मेरे को इस पॉडकास्ट में बात करनी है बड़ी सारी चीज़ों की. एंड सो लाइक वी ऑलवेज डू ऑन द फाइंड योर लॉटर पॉडकास्ट, इट बिगिंस विद द पर्सन, देयर ओन जर्नी, एंड देन वी टॉक अबाउट हाउ रनिंग एंड एवरीथिंग हैपेंड, एंड देन स्पिरिचुअलिटी, हाउ कैन वी लीव दैट आउट, वी डिडंट डिस्कस दैट, उसमें तो बात करनी है. एंड देन देयर इज ऑफ कोर्स यू बिल्ट अ वेरी सक्सेसफुल बिजनेस. सो आई वांट टू टॉक अबाउट ऑल ऑफ दैट. Let's begin to hear, where were you born, raised?
Sure, thank you, Vipin, and it's a pleasure. First time for me to be on under the lights, as they say. So feeling like a star.
Wow.
Thanks to you.
That's only because podcasting is new in India. अगर ये पहले होती तो अभी तक आप 250-500 पॉडकास्ट पे आ चुके होते.
That's so nice of you, but thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here and happy to be talking about life and whatever.
Amazing.
I think just to start back, you asked me a question on where am I from, what am I? So I was born in a city called Patiala, most
Kutteri.
famous for, as they say, we taught the world how to drink. So yeah, I was born way back in Patiala. I think Patiala with their generations. My great grandfather was Diwan to Maharaja Patiala, Maharaja Bhupinder Singh.
Wow.
And we have been associated with that family, I think, as a childhood. So I've played with, I think, as a child at Maharaja's kotis and havelis. As a child, people would go there to see the Haveli, but I would be playing there because that's what we would do.
Mm.
And so it was a small little town in Punjab up north, but a beautiful place, very close to my heart.
Uh-huh.
Born
Amazing.
and brought
So
up
the
there.
palace then, the palace which is now given to the government for Sports Authority of India.
Yes.
वो
That's
Maharaja
one of the
को क्या
older
था?
palaces, but I think the Maharaja Yadvinder Singh had
he
built
had
up a
new-
newer palace. That's where Amarinder Singh stays currently, along
Oh.
with his wife.
I see.
I've been to that palace also as a child. So even that was built because they were giving up the old one and they built up a new one.
Mm.
Very nice, humble family, and I think we've been associated with them. And we were in touch till at least my father was alive. He was in touch with Amarinder Singh, and they attended, I think, their children's shadi and all that. Post that, I think it just segregates and spills up over. We all
Mm.
go different ways. So yeah, I was there, and I was in Patiala till my 12th. Mine was probably the first batch which moved 11th, 12th into college at that time. So 10th I did school and then went into college where I studied commerce. So my father decided that for graduation, post-graduation, we should move to a better city, bigger city. So
Chandigarh that was.
Chandigarh, and he took a transfer. He was in a government service, and very nice of him. That's how parents build the future of the children. And he got himself transferred to Chandigarh so that I could move to Chandigarh and then study in a better college. And of course, I continued my stream of commerce. So all along, being a commerce graduate and working there through. So both the cities,
Chandigarh University. That's where.
Punjab University Chandigarh,
Punjab
yes.
University.
It's called Punjab University Chandigarh. So that's where I graduated
कितने रहंदे
from.
ਤੁਸੀਂ?
Huh?
Sector 17.
No, ji, started off from sector 10. 17 tak hai, 17 is a commercial sector. Ashki karan jayida si. 17 in the Gedi route, which I have done many times. So I think I had the best of both worlds in terms of childhood. A nice, humble beginning from a small town called Patiala, and then seeing the more Cosmo Chandigarh at that point of time. And if I recollect as a child, any new...
What year was that when you got into Chandigarh?
87, I graduated my 12th, so I moved to Chandigarh in 87.
And what year did you leave?
Chandigarh, I left in 91.
Okay, so tell us that journey of from
Chandigarh?
that to that to
So
the
Chandigarh,
more
Chandigarh
Cosmo.
was interesting. Yeah? The college time, best times. ਸਾਡੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ Chandigarh is blessed town because one, we are at the foothills of the Himalayas.
Yeah.
So ਸਾਡੇ कुछ नहीं होता सी कॉलेज में जब अटेंड नहीं करना होता था स्कूटर बाइक निकालो अपने and go uphill. And that's what we will do. So there was no destination in mind. ये नहीं कि शिमला जाना है, कसौली जाना है, या धर्मपुर जाना है, धर्मशाला जाना, nothing. You'll just go up, maybe drive an hour, depending on the time you have. Just go there, have a little bit of outing.
Yeah.
Maggie खा ली या ये कुछ कर लिया और वापस आ गए. We could do our own fun. And that's what we've done innumerable times. Remember, कभी ओले पड़ गए तो पता है कि पहाड़ पे बर्फ पड़ रही है, गाड़ी निकाली, चले गए ऊपर, मस्ती मुस्ती की अपने, शाम तक वापस.
So Gedi is a real thing in Chandigarh.
Gedi is a very real thing. And there is a Gedi route, very, very popular in Chandigarh.
So what's that Gedi route? Because we've just...
Well, there's a girls' college there, there's a boys' college there, government college girls, and then sector 10, and then 70. So there's a proper route in which you'll go around, and then, you could see more girls around, and that somehow it became like very, very famous. It's all probably during our times when it's coming up around as a Gedi route, but काफी popular हो गया. Chandigarh was always more Cosmo because anything new to be launched was always, brands were tested in two markets, which is Bangalore and Chandigarh. So whether it was fresh brewery or beer or any garment, these were the test markets. So we will always have the latest of fashion, latest of everything. Chandigarh also knows the retired
Not Delhi,
people's town.
not Bombay.
No, Bombay they would take it later, always. This is all much before the fashion industry really developed in India. Right? It took some time for the fashion industry to develop as well. And that's it. And then I moved to Delhi in 91 and started a job in this logistics industry that I work for. It has been a beautiful 33-year journey now. But I joined simply out of love, and I'll tell you why. Because going back to Patiala days, Patiala was one of the few places which had a flying club. So ਸਾਡੇ friends, their brothers, they were learning flying and they were becoming pilots. तो उन्होंने वो नंबर ऑफ मैन आवर्स करने होते थे तो हम उनके साथ गेड़ी मारने जाते थे. So they would take us on a sortie. So I have probably sat in a plane when I was a small child.
Yeah.
Those small two-seaters
Mm.
aircrafts that we would sit in, वो अपने राउंड ही कराते थे. हमारे लिए भी फ्लाइंग हो जाती थी, हमें बड़े मजे आते थे, छोटे बच्चे होते थे और भैया साथ होते थे कोई ना कोई, तो बड़ा मजा आता था. But that interest got me into flying, and I first thought I should become a pilot. But I think at that time it was not a profession, which was as known, at least in the smaller cities. Maybe Delhi, Bombay, and others understood. So my parents never allowed me, so I never did flying at that point of time to learn. But as a child, my attraction for aircrafts was too much. So I started doing some odd jobs in Chandigarh originally, but I was always keen. So I, was telling my relatives and कि यार मुझे ना किसी जहाज के साथ connect करा दो. So out comes my cousin. He used to work for Air India. That there is this new company in logistics, and they also do cargo, and cargo also goes just like passenger in the same aircraft in which you travel. मैं कहा एयरपोर्ट भेजेंगे, हाँ जहाज देखूंगा, हाँ चले जा. मैं भी चला गया, इंटरव्यू किया, and they gave me a job. That's how my journey in this industry started.
Okay.
But I just fell in love with the industry.
What do you like about it? Because it seems so B2B and sounds like a non-sexy thing.
Oh, it is very sexy. I'll tell
Really?
you why.
So
I
give
think
us a peek.
we move everything and anything in the world. When I started this industry, and what really got me interesting was, besides my love of going to the airport, I would start to go to the airport, see the aircrafts up and close. But more than that, we would move anything and everything. When I realized, whether it's a garment that you wear, a shirt, or a watch that you wear, or a shoe that you wear, it's exported and imported. Anything which touches our lives today, we use this gadgets, we use a mobile phone. It's been manufactured in some country and brought in. So, and it had a variety of all industries that one could think of, from a pharmaceutical industry which exports drugs or import drugs, to medical equipments, to garments, to watches, to designer wear, to gems and jewelry, to art. Everything was moving around and you were touching every aspect of it. And then I think I got chances. So one of our clients, I remember early days, was Kodak, and I could never believe that one day my client allowed me to go and have a look at it. How those films that you used to buy for our film cameras were actually being imported in a jumbo roll. And jumbo roll was the size by jumbo because it was the size of an elephant.
Wow.
That bigger roll, and there was a fully automated process from where the jumbo roll would make into the small thin reel which you and I buy from the market, completely packed in the same darkroom operation which is being done. So I have seen things. I've seen ties being made. I've seen how a shirt is manufactured, how a watch is being there, from leather. What is a leather upper? How a shoe is made? How a sole comes together? What is exported? What is imported? And then
how did you get exposure to this? So
all
you
my
would
clients.
get a client,
So they were clients who were importing
and you
or
would go
exporting.
and
So you would go there. You would try and understand their processes. What do they do? What is it that they need? And somewhere, since I had a commerce background, it also linked me that we are directly connected to the GDP of the country. I come to understand, if our exports is down, that means we're earning less dollars. Our imports are high is unfavorable to us. All those economic parameters which you were generally learning in the books, I started seeing live. And I said, oh, I can predict what's happening with our country. Where is it really going? And I think that kind of connected in a very, very lovely way for me. So not only learning about products, the processes, and knowing how anything is done or made, it also connected me with our own country, where the country is going, how the economy is going. Are we doing well? And exposure to the world. Where do we export? Where do we import from? What do we export? What is being sold? Which is a buying economy, which is not a buying economy, which is a manufacturing economy. You start learning about currencies. You learn about certain countries. You start to learn about languages. You learn about geography. Where in the world is that city located? It was such a vast knowledge that I was, as a child, gaining and learning.
So where were you learning all of this from? Did you have a mentor? Because there was no Coursera or YouTube at the time. So who was
That's a
teaching you?
very, very good question. I think in somebody's life, when you succeed, it's always people who come up into your lives and really make you succeed. So I can never forget one of my initial managing directors and boss who got me to one of the first companies I started working, Mr. Ashok Jedka. And he taught me a lot. So much so, one small incident comes to my mind right away, since you asked me this question.
Yeah.
So I was probably drawing out a salary of something like 2,500 or 2,800 rupees in Chandigarh of one of jobs that I was doing. And when I got into this job, it's a multinational company, I expected कि यार बड़ी अच्छे सारे पैसे मिलेंगे, ठीक ठाक होगा, खर्चे चलेंगे. And he gave me a stipend of 1,500 rupees. And as a child, my face jaw dropped and I said, sir, ये क्या है? मैं तो गुस्से में उनके कमरे में गया. मैंने कहा, सर, आ किएगा. उन्होंने कहते दरवाजा बंद कर, बैठ. कहते काका जे तू इंडस्ट्री सीखनी है. Then the guy at the airport who will teach you, who you will be under, draws a salary of 1,800 rupees. If I give you the same or higher, he's not going to teach you. If you get a salary below him, तो तेरे को भगाएगा, चार अपने काम भी कराएगा. But in the process, you will learn. You learn the documentation, you learn the processes, you learn the systems. And I promise you, in 6 months or 8 months' time, once you're good enough qualified, I'll get you in sales the job that you've applied for.
Wow.
So, anyway, समझ में नहीं आता. I remember it clearly. It was
Pissed you
same
off.
day today, like Friday. And he said, देख, तेरी मर्जी है. रुकना है तो आजा, मंडे को सुबह ज्वाइन कर लीजिए, नहीं तो फिर let us know. But this is the thought process that I've done this, and it's my promise that I'll get you what you desire in the profile and probably will increase your salary. And in those days, it was always, a relative or a family that will stay with. So my chacha was working here and I would stay with him. मैंने घर में फ़ोन किया, सबको बोला कि जी मैं तो नहीं ज्वाइन करूँगा, मैं वापस आ रहा हूँ. But since I'm in Delhi already, let me explore and roam around Delhi city. And मैं संडे रात या मंडे को बस फुस लेके चंडीगढ़ पहुँच जाऊँगा वापस. So my father-in-law were upset, but they also got कि हाँ ठीक है यार, पैसे तो कम दे रहे हैं, ये है वो है, and I convinced them. But I don't know what happened with me. Sunday I slept with the mood that Monday during the day I'll go back. The Monday morning I get up and I get dressed and I told my चाचा नहीं जी मैं ज्वाइन कर रहा हूँ, जाते देखता हूँ, कुछ देर चला के देखते क्या है. I don't know what hit me, God knows. But कहते ने sometimes it is written, the destiny is written and you don't know. You're just trying your mind to push it through. And I joined. So those are these mentors who came into my life to teach me the life right from the grassroots level. So starting a job at 1,500 rupees stipend, but I must tell you, true to his words, he put me in all the possible operations, various departments, various rigmaroles. मेरे को रनर बॉय बनाया, जा डॉक्यूमेंट दे किया. उस ज़माने में स्कूटर पे सीपी में हमारा ऑफिस होता था, कभी साहिबाबाद जा, कभी मानेसर जा, which those days used to be far-flung areas. Gurgaon was not developed. It was just one long road. You just keep going. Why? Because somebody has to go and collect a check. So it was just run a boy's job because there was no online transactions like today. So you had to physically go, pick up a check, come back, physically go, drop a document, or do the dirty work at the port or at the airport. So import, export, everything. But I think that process really taught me a lot. And over the years, I've met many, many such mentors who guided me correctly. I also met people who I learned in my own life what not to follow and what not to do. So they're all kind of bosses, but I think my learning has been what not to do.
Brilliant. So I think the point about I think a good boss can be such a blessing to your life. This generation in particular just hates, like, job is sort of looked upon. Apna kaam aajkal, the creator economy and whatnot, like being independent. But when you वो जब तक कब तक वो कैसे करोगे जब तक कोई सिखाएगा नहीं या सीखोगे नहीं आप, जब तक ये रगड़ाई नहीं करोगे आप. So not that I've made it anywhere in life, but my next podcast is going to be with my ex-boss, Itu Chaudhary, who I've learned hell of a lot from, like pretty much everything. So a good boss is like a good teacher. And yeah, like you said, there are also bad bosses that'll you should leave as soon as you can if you get a bad one.
So I think
Yeah.
one of the things which was there with me was always, I think maybe, I don't know, it's probably in Punjab.
Mm.
One was, I was never fearful of things, and I was never, which I learned much later in books, that, you have your comfort zone or your cocoon zone or cocoon area. So I left Chandigarh, came to Delhi, didn't know anybody here, learned the new city. मेरे को मालूम है कि मैं शायद 10-10 चक्कर काटता था इंडिया गेट के जस्ट टू फाइंड द राइट रोड टू गो टू बाराखंबा रोड. नहीं पता था, भूल जाते थे, गलत रोड लेते थे, कोई गूगल मैप तो होता नहीं था तब. So you had to learn it your own way.
Wow, yeah.
I think similarly life gave me another opportunity which I took it up as a 25-year-old boy when I was working for a company where the bosses asked me that we aren't finding a good guy in Chennai or Madras as they would call it then to go. Would you be keen to go? And I think before me, even in Delhi, they had requested few of my seniors as well, but nobody wanted to go down south. But out of the blue, I said yes. मैं कहा जी घर वर दोगे? कहते हाँ हाँ फर्निश कर दे देंगे. मैं कहा बहुत अच्छी बात है. और कहते और तेरे को अपना स्कूटर लेके जाना पड़ेगा. कोई गल नहीं, मैं अपना स्कूटर ले जाऊंगा, बट आप घर वर दे दोगे तो आई एम ओके. सैलरी मिल रही आएगी, ठीक है को. And I don't know why I said yes, because I had never traveled down south of Delhi. So, मैं तो कभी उसके नीचे गया ही नहीं था, मुझे इंडिया ही नहीं पता था कितना साउथ में होता है. And one odd day I find myself sitting on a Tamil Nadu Express train which departs at 10 in the night. 2 दिन के बाद आप चेन्नई पहुंचते हो, तब पता लगता है कितनी दूर चेन्नई है. And I landed up there. Thankfully, my first cousin was there just for about 2 months that I was there, but it was a home. There was somebody known. And I land up in that city. I think Vipin, my life changed in that city.
Wow.
I had
In
a
just
tough...
2 months?
No. 2 months though he just met me, made me meet a few people and friends.
Yeah.
First 6 months were pathetic. I would cry. On a X Sunday, I will call up my mom in Chandigarh just to hear my own voice, because I've not spoken to people. I didn't know the language. I didn't like the people. I didn't like the food. And that boy, since I told you my background from coming from the family of Diwans and all the stuff, we've always had people at home. I've never ever entered the kitchen. मुझे पानी boil करना नहीं आता था, बाकी तो छोड़ दो चाय और अंडा बनाना. So, and then you come up in this city where you don't know what the people are talking. They hate North Indians.
Yeah.
We
talk about racism here, but there is a lot of racism down south.
It's very, very big.
Yeah.
And I've experienced it live.
Yeah.
So 6 months were pathetic. And I said, kithe phas gaya, ki galti kar di. And now I know why nobody said yes. But again, I think God and life has their own plans. I met so many beautiful friends and brothers who were my seniors, who were doing exceptionally well, heading up very large airlines, large companies, corporates. And they became my mentors then. And I would sit with them. Of course, I had a little bit of inquisitiveness, so I'd keep asking them questions, keep learning from them. And they spent a lot of time in chiseling me, I think, as a person. I stayed in Chennai for 5 years. Today, if I owe anything in my life that I've achieved, is because of those 5 years being alone in Chennai, but learning. I met the right set of people. I could have met bad set of people.
Yeah.
Got into some bad habits and it's ruined my life.
Yeah.
I think I met the best of people who are still one of my closest friends. Very, very good set thick of people. And that changed my life and destiny. It Punjabi Mulla Patiala Chandigarh to aaya hai. Suddenly, first thing what I learned was humility. Because I would never see a South Indian driving an S-Class Mercedes with getting off in chappal or a dhoti out of his car. वो ज़मीन पे बैठ के खाना खाते थे, हाथ से खाना खाते थे. तो मेरे को पहले 6 महीने वही चीज़ जो बुरी लगती थी, बाद में समझ में आया हाथ से खाने का रीज़न क्या है. There is something known as humility. There is something known as humbleness in whatever you've achieved in life. And I think that's something which to a North Indian was taught by a Chennai.
South Indian.
And that shaped my life both personally and professionally. So I made best of friends personally, learned a lot personally, how to grow up as an individual, what are the values that you should have. This is over and above what you learn from home as values.
Yeah,
But there are some values you gather up from outside world as well.
of course.
And I think since I was managing South and I lived there, I grew professionally very well. From just handling Chennai to then heading the whole south of India for that company. I grew much faster than my peers or my colleagues who I left back in Delhi. And by the time I left Chennai, I was always ready for a national role because I had very quickly gained insights into it. I think I learned a lot, but I also taught them a lot. I became, for example, we have an Air Cargo Club of Chennai. At a nascent age of 27, 28, I became its president too, who had stalwarts for the last 40 years, 30 years. But then because I would always voice my opinion and I would say, oh, you don't do things differently. We do it differently in Delhi. And they kind of listened to me, followed me. And I think we worked together a lot to improve the industry per se. And, I was a bachelor. I had enough and more time on hand. Kuch bhi kara lo. So I would find things to do, things like this, and, made a decent set of friend circle because my brother was in banker, so he made me meet a lot of bankers. And the common way to become a friend was that Hindi aati hai? Haan, aati hai, to dost ban gaye. And thankfully, most of them were married and I was the only bachelor around. So learned a lot, seeing families, life, individuality kya hoti hai, kaise seekhte hain. That was it. Yeah, that's how the journey came. Start.
Amazing. I think like you said it in the beginning कि पहले निकल गया मैं घर से वो बड़ी that's where it all began.
हाँ, तो वही होता है. लोग अब मैं बुक्स में पढ़ता हूँ कि यार ये क्या होता है.
एक
Who moved my cheese?
हाँ, exactly. And एक शायर ने बहुत eloquently बहुत बढ़िया तरीके से बोला घर बनाने के लिए घर से निकलना पड़ता है.
Absolutely.
I think घर बनाने के या खुद को बनाने के लिए भी घर से निकलना पड़ता है.
Absolutely.
Which you did, which is.
So I owe everything to Chennai.
Great. We've skipped a lot of it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So we need to go back to your childhood a little bit.
Sure.
What was your relationship with your parents like? Are they still around?
No, I lost my father. My mother is still with us. I lost my father in 2009.
What sort of influence did they have?
Always very good. I've seen my father being a very, very hard worker. My mother was a homemaker, but always dedicated to us. Always concerned about what we do. So I had a very, very good relationship with them.
Okay.
थोड़ा पढ़ाई में हम जरा okay थे, तो there was a pressure के भी कुछ करो. But I think I remember my father very proudly saying कि हाँ यार मेरे बेटे के ना high class second division आई है. And I still remember his words when he proudly said, I think in my 10th exam, I probably got something like 58%, if I remember correctly, or 59%. And he would proudly say, हाँ, मेरा बेटा pass नहीं हुआ, but high class second division है, because first was 60%.
Wow.
And that stayed.
What a perspective.
So that's what he would say. So yeah, that was it. But I was always a sports guy. In my childhood, way back in Patiala, I was playing basketball. I was the captain of my team. I represented my district, Patiala district.
Nice.
I played for them. I didn't get selected for the Punjab state, but which I had participated for. But I played into university, into colleges and stuff like that. So I played a lot of basketball at that.
You've been active.
Very active from child, always.
Okay.
So there were no games, no video games, no computer, nothing to do. So just step out and do something or the other. So my school had a beautiful court, and that's where I picked up and learned.
What year did you start your business then?
Good question. I think I started working till the age of 2005 from 91. So in 2005, me and a dear friend of mine, we met, and both of us were a little upset with the current companies, our current bosses, and just those things कि यार क्या करे, चल अपने कुछ कर लेते हैं यार, इतने जो हम कमाते हैं इतना तो हम बिजनेस से कर लेंगे यार. Honestly, little realizing कि business के अंदर बहुत nuances होते हैं. It's not that easily said and done.
Right.
And we took a call. I remember sitting in a coffee shop and asking him, भाई एक बात बता, both our wives were expecting a first child. And I just asked him, यार तेरे पास इतने हैं कि तू 6 महीने घर चला लेगा बिना पैसे के? उसने कहा हाँ. मैंने कहा दूसरा सवाल भाई, do you think we'll get a job back in the industry? Do you think you will get a job? He said, yeah. मैं कहा मुझे भी मिल जाएगी. चल इतने में नहीं मिली तो आधे पैसे में मिल जाएगी, पर नौकरी मिल जाएगी क्योंकि कभी गलत नहीं किया, impeccable career, so nothing wrong, so मिल जाएगी. शुरू करते हैं. So a lot of our industry friends, I remember, actually came, counseled us कि तुम क्या कर रहे हो, पागल हो, तुम्हारे खर्चे बढ़ने वाले हैं. Both your wives are expecting their first child, and here you guys are deciding to jump into something in which you don't know what you're getting into. But वो कहते हैं, I think अगर entrepreneur बनना है तो कूदना तो पड़ता है. And we both jumped, and we ran the company together for 8 years, 20 till 2013. Yeah, we split after that, but we split as friends. He's Sanjay, still a very dear friend. We still meet. We still at times have a drink together or catch up, because I think in 8 years you become one family. You know his family, he knows your family. You've met together as family. How can you just suddenly disown somebody just because you have maybe some difference of opinion at that point of time, which I don't even
which you can have with anybody, like your family members.
But I think we split as friends. And then I started this company called Logistics Plus. It's been 11 years now. So I think 11 and 8, 19 years. So in my 33 years of careers, it's more or less equally split between being an entrepreneur or into business versus 100% working for somebody. So yeah, that's how it is.
Now, before getting into running and DRG and stuff like that, since we're talking about business, I have a question, something that I want to learn from you, because in this age of social media content where Gyan is available for free on the internet so quickly, people talk about all the billionaires and millionaires talk about balance. They'll say life may balance, but important I have a certain number of hours of sleep, you cold shower, wake up early, meditation, journal, and all that stuff. But at the same time, you also know in real life what you see is there are only hustlers who are really getting somewhere to that level. So I think ऐसा कुछ होता है कि is there an escape velocity कि आपको 18-20 घंटे काम करना पड़ता है, मेहनत करनी पड़ती है until you get to a certain place, and then life becomes easier?
I think, I don't know what's the real answer for that. It's a mix of both, but I think life balance मैंने बहुत बाद में सीखा, बहुत बाद में सुना, but जो मुझे पता था, मुझे नींद बहुत प्यारी थी. And not that I would sleep longer hours in the day, but I was always, I think as a child coming back, I was always an early riser. I will always study for my exams at 4 a.m. rather than sleeping till 11 or 12 p.m.
Interesting.
So, मेरे को नींद रात को बड़े आराम से आ जाती थी. Till date, it's a mixed bag. So I've always had this life balance.
Did you work really long hours?
I did.
Yeah.
I think, as I said, my Chennai bachelor, पता नहीं, शायद 2 रात सोया भी नहीं हूँ.
See.
So you have to go through that churn.
Yeah.
It is never that if without hard work you don't achieve anything. You say, मैं life balance कर लूँगा at the age of 20. Some people are lucky. Today, there are a lot of opportunities in terms of entrepreneurship. And I believe in entrepreneurship. A country can always grow when there are more entrepreneurs. I really hope and wish that our country, from a government standpoint, supported our entrepreneurs as much as they do in the West.
Do you think entrepreneurs are born or they're made?
It's a mix of both again. There's nothing known as born. Some people are born. Certainly, if you see a kid at age of 14 or 18 cracking it and making $1 billion guy, he was probably born with it and his luck was on his side. But I think there is nothing other than that you cannot be made. Everybody can go through the rigmarole. It's just up to us how much dedicated we are. In today's time, what I see with kids is that they give up very easily. मतलब हम जैसे कह रहे हो ना, मैं 2 दिन नहीं सोए, बट हम मेहनत लगे थे. हम तो उतनी सैलरी आ रही थी जितनी भी आ रही थी. But it was not about the salary, it was not about the money, it was a passion that you want to work. Yeah. And you're just working hard. You're just going constantly in, out, the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
That churn has to be there. I've always had the life balance in terms of finding time to play a sport or do something or the other.
Yeah.
Sleep well. बहुत बाद में सुना कि 8 घंटे बहुत जरूरी होते हैं, हम वैसे सोते थे 6-8 घंटे.
Yeah.
So it is always there, and till
So-
today I do the same.
So they said. So then, what's the advice to this generation then? Because this generation prioritizes health and well-being and various other things, which, like you said, you heard all of that much later. So by the time you're 30, you're developing diabetes, you're getting overweight, and you're dying earlier of heart, problems and whatnot.
I think विपिन शायद पता नहीं पहले भी बहुत बीमारियां होंगी, शायद हमें पता नहीं था. You would just pop off one day and you would not even realize the guy died of a heart attack. Maybe. I'm talking about, like, let's look at a B or a C category town, which didn't have much medical facility, all that science.
Yeah.
So I think it's good to be informed.
Yeah.
Good to make informed decisions. Nothing wrong about it. There's too many data available at you, but don't get confused. People only live by Google these days, or the answers which Google throws up on you.
Yeah.
That's also not true. I think go through the process, learn it.
Yeah.
Be
I
resilient.
I think the times are very different in many different ways, right? Like life was a lot simpler earlier.
Simpler,
You were
needs
hell
were
of a-
simpler.
Hell of a lot more active earlier. Bad nutrition was hard to find. Now good nutrition is hard to find.
Correct.
Yeah. So all of those add to all of these. Issues,
Absolutely
right?
right. Everything becomes collectively as part of it. We were far, far less polluted
Yeah.
as an environment
Yeah.
what we are today. And
Yeah.
we've seen the pollution levels go down. I've never seen Delhi, for that matter,
Yeah.
this polluted, which becomes during Diwali every year this time now.
Mm.
Or I've never heard of an HUL level.
Oh yeah.
But we would, I think, from Patiala, Chandigarh, Delhi, I've always see a blue sky.
yeah.
But now you don't see as many blue skies, probably now because it's raining.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't.
We have the best time, like October, November festive season is the best time of the year.
Absolutely.
AQI wise is the worst time of the
Worst
year.
time of the year. So
Ridiculous.
that's what you're doing. What are you doing as a runner?
Yeah.
Just inhaling all that right in the morning in the outside when your
Yeah.
lungs should actually be breathing fresh air.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and that's the sad part. So I think, yeah, things have gone bad. And
Talk to me about Anu and your
Son
your
Manit?
son.
so I think Anu, the best life partner I could have ever found.
What does she do?
A lady, she's an interior designer.
Oh wow.
I found her in Bombay, and we got talking. It was arranged, but then I was in Chennai those days, so I said, I would like to be in touch with you before we decide. So, she agreed to that. And those days, our medium of communication was largely emails.
Mm.
So we exchanged our Hotmail email IDs, and then we could connect with each other, and we continued. And then one day I learned that she's coming to Delhi to see more boys. And by then, I think I had made up my mind. So I called her out for dinner, I proposed to her, and she said yes. And
Okay.
within a week, we
You
got
beat
engaged.
the shit out of competition.
Oh, absolutely. Don't drive me to that point. And then I said, no, this can't be.
Mm.
And I think we got married within 3 months of that. So
Knowing-
all happened very, very quickly.
Wow.
Very, very quickly. So she has been the biggest support factor. If anything I've done in my life in terms of stepping out, doing something, is because she allowed me to do it.
Mm.
She never said कि यार तू इतने घंटे चला जाता है, whether I went for my running, my photography, or for tennis, or anything else for that matter.
Mm.
I go for my boys' trip too. For years we've been doing it. We'll go and drive and go somewhere. But she has never objected. She's always stood by it. She always said, yes, it's okay if you're doing it. Just go ahead and do it.
But I'm sure that's also because you do make up for it in some ways. Like you do make time for them.
I do.
Time for the
we
family.
all take time out
Good
for
enough.
home as well. But I think it's a very good relationship that we share. So she's a professional. She's an interior designer.
Mm.
Also an artist. She does pottery. She does a lot of things.
Oh wow.
And
I'd love to meet her.
Yeah. So she could have pottery wheel at home. So I've been doing for quite some time now pottery. And again, not focused on money. She does it out of more passion. She does interior designing. This office, by the way, designed by her.
Oh,
So
sweet.
she does it more to stay in touch with the industry, to know the newer trends, not just to fleece people with money and things like that. So that's okay, what she does. And I like that about her. So I've learned a lot of things from her. I think
So she's a passionate person.
she's a very passionate person. And, वो कहते ना एक जो भी खराब करते तो एक करेक्शन वाला कोई होना चाहिए. She's the corrector in my life.
Mm.
And talking of Manit, of course, we were blessed with a son, Manit, in January of 2006.
Okay.
Probably one of the few times I cried when he
He
was
must
born.
be 18 now.
Yes, he's 18, little 18
Wow.
plus. He's studying now in Vancouver in Canada,
Acha.
University of British Columbia, doing psychology.
Kya? Wow.
हाँ, तो कहाँ से कहाँ, but very proud of him too.
Amazing.
Tall boy, very physically fit.
Also, look at you.
I know, so he's gone on, height has gone on me.
Yeah.
But extremely proud of
Mm.
the gentleman he's shaping up to be.
Nice.
Extremely proud of.
You were talking about his birth. I cut you off. Sorry.
No, just I said one of the few times that I cried when he was born.
Mm.
We only have one son, one child, and I think we had a late child, and we got married at the age of 30, and we were probably 36 when he was born.
Mm.
So, but that emotional moment I can't forget, and some of a few close friends can also not forget what all happened at that time.
Mm.
But yeah, it's been a beautiful journey having a baby around, and then learning from him. And today I learned from him. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't go to the gym, but he spends 2 hours in the gym every day.
Mm.
He tells me more about the protein powder shakes that I should be having than anybody else in the world.
But I beat you to this. So I was 39 and my wife was 43
Oh, there you
when
go.
my daughter was born.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So she's
So there you go.
She turns 3 later this month.
Oh,
Yeah.
how beautiful
Ah.
that.
But amazing. And so was the childbirth? I mean, बहुत पुरानी बात होगी अब तो खैर. Was the childbirth full of challenges? Like for us, it was difficult because my wife was past 40 and
No.
बहुत
Nothing
सारे
like
issues,
that. Touch wood,
complications
touch
नहीं
wood.
थे.
No
Okay.
complications
बढ़िया.
at all, other than a C-section,
Hmm.
which happened at the last minute. But other
And
than
that's
that,
a normal
that's a
thing.
very normal thing now.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing. I mean,
Mm.
we've had even he has been raised up as a beautiful child. He's all never, as a boy, he has never troubled us. He never cried over things. He never asked for anything. At 18 also, आज की डेट में भी उसको कुछ पता सबको होता है, but he has never asked for a brand. You ask him, चलिए ले ले, तो he will say, नहीं, Dad, I have enough t-shirts, I have enough shirts, I don't want.
How would you compare your relationship with him as your relationship with your father? Like,
I think maturing as a friend with him at this stage right now. My father relationship is also very good, but
now it's changing. But I'm saying now he's 18, right? But the journey to 18,
journey has been very
what was
good.
parenting like? And
यार देखो, हमने तो अपने फादर से थप्पड़ भी खाए हैं,
हाँ,
पर हमने अपने बेटे को कभी मारा नहीं. So I think those things change with generation.
mm,
So we were always a little scared of my father.
mm.
Okay,
But you didn't want
Daddy क्या
your
बोलेंगे?
child to be
आप-
scared of you.
I don't want him to be scared, but then naturally होता ही है. So he's more close probably at times to his mother. He speaks
Yeah,
more often to Anu, probably than to me.
Mm.
But it's still a very good relationship. We talk a lot. Today we discuss almost everything. I mean, be it college situation or drugs or alcohol or women, safety,
Amazing.
everything. We
Love
discuss everything very, very openly.
Love that. Yeah. There was this friend of mine whose birthday we were celebrating at her place and many years ago. And I was like, oh, it's your birthday at your home, but your father's also there. So you won't be drinking much, right? She said, I can actually have more just because my father's there. It's safer.
And I must say this, it holds true for my entire family.
Mm.
I started drinking with my grandfather and father at home. And I mean, they would even offer a drink to my mom, ke aap sip le lo. No, mom never drank. But out of love, we will say, Nini, aap bhi le lo. Though she would not. But same for my son. I always told him, whenever you feel like drinking, whenever you're ready, have your first drink with me and go out. तो उससे क्या होता है, when he goes out probably and drinks with his friends, उसको ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता है कि कुछ नई चीजें तो मैं बहुत सारी कर लूँ suddenly, or people get at times go out and drink a little more because they can't drink at home or they hide from their parents, nothing like that. So we share a very, very open relationship with him.
Yeah.
He's equally, he'll tell me, yeah, Dad, I had 2 drinks last night, or I had 3, or I didn't have, or whatever. So very, very good relationship.
There are more areas I want to talk about, but in whatever we've discussed so far, it's all beautiful, but life's never like that, right? So you would have had some really, really challenging moments. So tell us about some of those from the business and from the personal life.
बहुत होते हैं challenges, business में बहुत होते हैं, personal में बहुत
Something
होते हैं.
that came close to breaking you or never? You like you?
No, I'll tell you. So when we started off, one of business guy, I can tell you both actually examples. When we started in 2005 and started one of the first businesses, and I think in a working of 8 or 9 months, I had a full-fledged income tax raid in the office. It was 30 people storming your office and locking you up and you can't touch your computer, you can't touch your phones, you can't call anybody, you can't do anything. And just because later on I learned that my former boss was jealous and his dear friend was the commissioner of income tax.
Achha.
And he wanted to find out, who's funding us, who's behind us, what are we doing?
Achha.
Just for that, the
So karwaai gayi thi,
officer said sorry. But because I was telling the officer, it's people like you who don't let entrepreneurs come up. And in 9 months, really, do you think I would have not even filed my first company income tax returns, that we would have actually forged or made some money by the side? I mean, this is not the way to do it. And he said, no, I'm sorry, just that there were instructions and we were supposed to do it. We don't do it for such a young company. And all they could find out was probably, TDS के payment के deposit में delay था शायद 1 हफ्ते का या 1 महीने का, which in any case to the government you end up paying interest on the due amount.
Sure.
And you have challenges on money at times. So you delay. क्या कर सकते हैं, पैसे नहीं था. समझ देर से आती है कि statutory payments को पहले priority देनी चाहिए. So you learn all these things a little later in life. But yeah, those are the challenges that one has faced in business, and those are one of the many that you have to go through. So as I said, it's never an interesting journey.
इसी में 50 lessons आ गया इतनी सी बात में. So statutory payments को पहले priority देनी चाहिए and all of that.
Always.
I think it's a lesson.
And then you learn later on that statutory payments are actually statutory compliance is one of the biggest things that you must do always.
Yeah. Otherwise, सारी मेहनत पानी में
No,
चली
सब पानी में,
जाएगी.
because any government department can actually call you, hold up to you. And I always find that is a lot of waste of time and energy. Rather focus on growth, strategy, discussions, taking it forward. Why live in the past? Because that's already gone. And had you been on time, there's nothing that you have to really look into to get into it.
Right.
So, yeah, when you're growing a business, a lot of such things come into it. Personally, of course, struggling times always happens. I've gone through many struggles in my
Something that stands out and something that you'll be okay sharing.
Sure, why not? Couple of things and nothing to be ashamed about also. I was asked to leave a job once.
So you were fired?
I was fired because there was some office politics which happened against. That was one of the results which actually made me become more stronger. And nothing wrong that I had done, but just that people were jealous and probably they teamed up and cooed up together and politics played a role. So I was out of a job for some time and I didn't know what to do because I was home. I had a small little child and suddenly I'm sitting at home doing nothing. Again, luck was kind enough, got another job, back in action, all that happened. So there have been a lot of instances. That was a hard time. Another hard time was probably when my father passed on and it was a tough phase for a month that he was in the ICU because he had cancer and some operation went bad.
What cancer did he pass by?
So it's called the esophageal cancer, which is of the food pipe.
Yes.
His food pipe narrowed on and we had just gone to Apollo. I walked him to the Apollo hospital and we had gone in to put a stent there so that he can eat more easily. We walked together, just 2 of us had gone. Supposed to be a simple operation. No, my wife was there too, 3 of us. Mom was home and they were taking in, but I think while doing the operation, because the food and the air pipe are right next to each other, so it touched and he just collapsed apparently on the table. So I don't know if you've ever noticed in any hospitals, but if you see there are these certain codes called the red code, blue code.
No.
So there are these codes. It's written in most walls. We probably ignore it.
Yeah.
So there was something known as a blue code, and the whole hospital sirens and it announces blue code, which means any doctor wherever he has to drop everything and come to that OT.
Oh.
Okay, so red means it's a fire hazard or something like that. Blue code means it's a patient issue.
Okay.
So multiple coding is done like that. I think there are 3 or 4 such codes. And I didn't know. All I knew was that I'm sitting outside the OT with my wife and suddenly this stream of doctors are running in and out and the door of the OT just opening, closing. And 20,000 doctors coming. The whole hospital is rushing and I didn't know. And I said, my dad is inside. So in the maddening rush, I also went in without anybody noticing, and now I could see my dad lying on the OT table, and the जो picture में देखते नहीं वो shocks देते हैं, तो chest पे एक बंदा ऊपर टेबल पे चढ़ के उनको shocks दे रहा था. And dad's body will go up, go down, and I didn't know what is happening. Suddenly, some doctor saw me, then pushed us out. I think they revived him after that. He was in the ICU for a month. This is Apollo Hospitals in Delhi. But by then, I think my dad knew. He couldn't speak after that much, but he would write it down to us. And he told me in no certain words at some point of time that my time is come and I'm going. Gave me instructions how to handle mom, what to do. Mummy pe naraz mat hona, gussa mat karna. Small घर की बातें हैं. Once he told me to call my chacha. उनको कुछ instructions दे के गए. And then one odd day, he passed on exactly after 30 days in the ICU. So those were very tough times because money was tight.
How old was he?
How old was he? Good question. So he must have been around, he was born in 1930, so 70s.
Okay.
75, 74, 75, something like that. 74. So I was also working. So it was tough on financials.
Sorry, just interrupting you again. Sorry. How old were you then?
2009. So I was, I was decent. I was probably 38. 38. Yeah, 38, 39. So our son was born. We was there.
Sure.
Wife is there. But, whatever savings that you have of life, 1 month of ICU drains you out.
Yeah.
We didn't, those days at least, never had so many health insurances we could take care of, things like that. So, and here the hospital, will come up with a lakh rupees bill every night and say that kya bossy kal wo jama kara dena. I didn't know where to organize that.
Yeah.
So I think I borrowed from friends, from relatives, from everywhere, because whatever we had, we used. And then it's still not enough. So I think that's a personal thing that I went through. But I think certainly post my father passed away, I can tell you one thing for sure, that I think he went up and I think he blessed me even more. I have seen my life change even after that a lot. And I still feel that he's a guiding force after that, actually. More so behind that.
How?
I don't know how it really happens, but I think when one goes, they remain in that state, whatever little I know in life. They are still able to see in things how it's happening. And I think if they start blessing you a lot, then you are able to achieve a lot of things. I don't know, certain opportunities came in my life which were never expected to. Certain people I met in life, certain things that happened. Money started flowing in, and it was, from that situation of almost breaking down with borrowings to a debt-free person even today. Lot of things. Just can't correlate to one thing, but I think everything just changed and took shape. Yeah.
What did that period teach you of his passing? About life, did that change anything in you about your outlook towards life or anything?
No, not.
It was just
not really.
It was just a trauma to process at the time.
No, not really traumatic too. Also, I think I had seen him go, so I was mentally prepared, because when you lose somebody suddenly, you 1 month in the ICU, in the last 2 weeks for sure, out of that, or 10 days for sure, we knew he's gone, and I was very. I think one of my upset days was the day he told me that he's going to go. So we come out of the ICU, and I was remember in the car park lot, and I cried a lot alone because I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know how to react to what he just told me. But I think, so one man knows, you're more prepared.
Wo jo likh ke dete the, do you still have them?
No, unfortunately, no. Okay. I don't know where I lost that also.
All right. Okay.
I know, I think it was more of a slate.
Okay.
Where it get rubbed and then he would write and then rub it and write, something like that.
Right.
I remember correctly. Yeah.
Kavi serious ho gaya podcast.
I know. Sorry about that.
No. मैं करवा रहा हूँ because I'm asking you all these questions. So, great. Now this, I think this is a good segue into what you do for spirituality. Why do you go to Vrindavan? This is somebody asking who who goes to Vrindavan probably as often as you do. But what are your reasons?
I think it starts from my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And again, things done like that. So my mother hails from Mathura. So my Nana and Mama ji were there.
Yeah.
When probably the marriage between my father and mother was being fixed, one of my grandfather's request was that हम पटियाला में अपनी बहुत फंक्शंस पार्टीज दावत कर लेंगे
Mm.
और उस जमाने में लड़के वाले बारात लेके आया करते थे अनलाइक
Correct. Mm.
तो उनका हम बारात लेके तो आएंगे मथुरा में बट हमारे से एक छोटी सी रिक्वेस्ट है कि इंस्टेड ऑफ मथुरा कैन वी डू अ वेडिंग इन वृंदावन और आई थिंक माय family from my father's side also had a lineage of the gurus from Vrindavan.
Okay.
Also from my mother's side. So they said, देखो इससे पावन हमें जगह मिलेगी नहीं तो can you organize it? And Nana apparently said, yes, we can do that there. So there's a place called Modi Bhavan in Vrindavan. बहुत बड़ी जगह थी तो वहाँ पे I think they got married. And then every summer, like any mother would go back home to Nana and Mama. As a child, probably, as a toddler, probably I've been to Vrindavan, roaming around in Mathura and Vrindavan streets and whatever. So from the time that I started recognizing, I would know those streets, the smallest of my childhood to now that I've been going. So I have seen that mandir in the temple for God knows. I mean, I'm today 54, so 54 years, at least 54 years I've been going. I don't think so. There is, except probably those Chennai times that I was not here.
Wow.
I've always been going there. So that is always a connect. But despite having this spiritual background, I mean, this background of this one, I was never a great believer of saints. But life is, there are times things just happen and you should be open to receive it. Saints started coming in the life. Saints would come and stay at our home there in Vasant Kunj.
How? Like interesting, but how did that happen?
Just connect. मैं आपसे मिला, आपने किसी सेंट से मिलवाया, उनसे बातचीत होने लगी. अगली बार वो दिल्ली आया, उन्होंने फोन कर दिया, अच्छा मैं आ रहा हूँ या मैं आ रही हूँ. Can we come? And we said, it'll be a blessing. Please come.
Sure.
So ऐसे ऐसे हम जुड़ते गए. And
so okay, here's the thing. I want to know more about this. Here's the thing. As of now, so I'm exploring spirituality. So as I go there, it's not like I'm a great believer. I'm exploring. I'm going there to learn and experience things. But अगर आज आप पूछोगे, तो my status would probably be an atheist. I'm a non-believer so far. I'm a person of science. ठीक है. पर झलकियां मुझे दिखती रहती हैं जो इधर उधर but I'm still exploring, right? And in saints and sages in particular, with the advent of social media, you only see them as jokers, like saying stupid things and silly things. Where इनके बारे में ये जो बड़े संत होते हैं, बड़े साधु होते हैं, अंग्रेज जिनके पीछे पागल होके जाते हैं, उनके बारे में I've only heard about it. I've just never, maybe I've not been lucky enough to meet one yet. But how was that for you? And
very nicely said. And I think, yes, बहुत पाखंडी लोग भी हैं जो संत बनते हैं because they think it's a good business.
And it's probably bulk of the community is like that.
Extent, yes. There are all kinds of people who try and again follow this journey, but they themselves lose out because they don't have that resilience in themselves to reach that level of sainthood.
Right.
But I think एक मैंने कहीं पढ़ा था कि गुरु शिष्य को ढूंढ के पास आता है, शिष्य गुरु को नहीं ढूंढता. I
say that again.
Guru comes to the shishya. Shish can keep trying finding for guru.
So मेरे parents Radha Swami सत्संग में जाते हैं. Like I said, I'm a non-believer in everything, but I still parents आते हैं तो exposure तो है. And I like the guy. Guy's pretty nice, at least so far. And he says something very nice. जब उनके सत्संग के बाद भीड़ बहुत होती है, of course, हर जगह तो दर्शन के लिए लोग धक्के मार रहे होते हैं. तो he said, भाई दर्शन दित्ते जानते हैं, लित्ते नहीं जानते.
Correct. Absolutely.
वो देंगे दर्शन तो मिलेंगे, आप ले नहीं सकते जाके. So I think aligns with what you're saying.
So similarly, my guru came into my life like that. He was happened to be in Delhi from Vrindavan, and through some common friends. My father was alive then.
Mm.
We would go. My father, mother would go, and I would take them. And suddenly, I meet this guy who was originally from south of India, affluent family apparently, but left all this at a childhood time, and became a saint. And what intrigued me the most, the first time when I met him, till the last that he was alive, there was a sign next to him which said in English, "If you do not understand my silence, if you do not understand my silence, you will not understand my words."
Wow.
And he was a very, very limited speaker.
Hmm.
He would not meet people. He has a great following globally, but he never wanted his ashram to become a bhakton ka ashram. I have seen in our Sanatan Dharma, there are 4 Shankracharyas. I have seen one of them coming every year, going down to my Maharaji, who would come with that, police escorts and everything. But our Guruji was way beyond all this. And he was one guy who I found was an authority on Bhagavad Gita. He would tell you the chapter, the words by heart without even looking at the book or without even doing anything. And he somehow, despite him being so quiet, despite him not being going public, spent a lot of time with me and would call me almost like every day in the evenings, and I'll spend an hour with him. We have discussed a lot of detail on speech, and my questions are probably not even deep enough to be asking, but वो बच्चों वाले सवाल. But he taught me a lot, and then much later in life, he also blessed me, and I took Diksha from him. That was much later, after knowing him for maybe 12, 13 years, that he agreed, and because he had very limited people and he was not giving a Diksha at some point of time. And I learned his journey. Somebody had written a book on him, which I ended up reading and understanding what his journey was, what kind of tapasya he's done.
What's the book's name, if you don't mind sharing?
I'll share with you that.
Okay.
It's not available on any
Publicly.
platforms.
Oh,
publicly,
okay.
no.
All right.
Yeah. So, but if you want, I have it home and I can give it to you for personal reading and give it back to me.
Sure.
Because he didn't want his life. He was one of the few saints. I saw him. कहते हैं कि संतों को समाधि दी जाती है. उसी घर के बेसमेंट में उनको समाधि जब दी गई, तो I saw how समाधि is given. Because I went in the pit.
Wow.
Saw, so it that's when you realize. Then again, I think from the time that he's gone, it's been 5 years, and all his Dikshit or all his followers have started doing very well. Again, the same thing what I told you about my father. There is a connect wherein they start blessing you a lot more.
Wow.
They start connecting you a lot more. You start understanding a lot of things which you didn't understand when he was teaching you also. Right? So, I don't know, but there is some connect, and this is the 2 times in my life I found this. That so father passed once.
Sure.
He left the body, but I think he's still, and I still find him there, his vibrations there. And it's not an ashram. You can't go and stay there. Nothing. You just go your darshans and probably have some prasad and come back and stay in some hotel nearby or whatever. But he never made it commercial, and you just can't walk in.
Wow.
So it's not open to public till date. So unless it's a connect, so I can take you, you can come with me, then the doors are open for you. If you come with Shraddha, absolutely fine. And so there are saints like this. And again, as I said, I didn't go out finding.
So people listening to this, so that, okay, you answered it. I was going to ask, how can one go about finding somebody like that? But you just answered, you can't find them.
No, you can't.
They'll find you when you're ready.
So exactly. Now you hit the nail on the head. I think probably when you're ready or when you need help.
जितने गूज़बम्स मुझे इस पॉडकास्ट में आ रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है कि किसी और में आए हैं. Because dude, like Devendra, in the last podcast also, I was discussing with somebody, I don't know who it was, Shashwat I mentioned. Vrindavan mein hi, so I'm repeating the story. Audience would have probably heard of it, but you haven't. So I'll tell you now. I met somebody just हम जाके वृंदावन में एक मथुरा में गोवर्धन परिक्रमा जहाँ होती है वहाँ पे एक रिजॉर्ट में रुकते हैं. तो वहाँ पे मुझे किसी ने बताया कि एक औरत है जो यहाँ पे कई सालों से रह रही हैं. कई मतलब 3-4 साल से. उनकी फैमिली पूरी लंदन में है और वो डेली की 2 परिक्रमा करती हैं और बस ये करती हैं, डेली की 2 परिक्रमा करती हैं. खैर दिस इज़ लाइक सुपर इंटरेस्टिंग, आई वुड लव टू मीट हर. सो गार्ड को बोला किस टाइम आती हैं, वो किस टाइम जाती हैं, गार्ड ने बताया वो सब कुछ. सो मैं दरवाजे पे वेट किया मैंने वहाँ पे गेट पे कि व्हेनेवर शी विल कम आई विल जस्ट हैव ट्राई टू हैव अ क्विक कन्वर्सेशन. सो आई स्पोक विद हर फॉर 5 मिनट्स. शी इज़ टायर्ड बट एंड आई वाज लाइक आप पानी वानी पी लो बिकॉज़ गर्मी है और अभी आप 21 किलोमीटर की परिक्रमा नंगे पैर करके आए और ये आपकी दूसरी थी. तो बट शी स्पोक वेरी नाइसली. शी वाज अ वेरी काइंड पर्सन एंड told me that she's on the bhakti marg for a few years and this and that and why she's sort of gotten away from the family, how difficult it's been for them to understand, but there is a transition period. They're understanding now that I'm on this different journey altogether. And then I obviously podcaster है तो क्या करेगा podcaster. मैंने offer किया उनको कि would you like to do one. So she said नहीं. मैंने कहा, क्यों? लेकिन उन्होंने बोला कि देखिए मैं को ईगो को ख़त्म करने के लिए तो ये सब कर रहे हैं. एंड इफ आई डू दिस एंड आई कम आउट पब्लिक एंड पीपल लाइक इट एंड दिस एंड दैट विल फ्यूल माय ईगो मोर एंड देन हम अपने पाथ से भटक जाएंगे. मुझे पहली बार लगा कि शायद यार ये लोग होते हैं फिर मतलब तो ये होते हैं.
There are a lot of such saints, and I think, as I'm saying, I've been blessed with a lot of such people coming in the life.
तो भाजी मेरे को लग रहा है कि मेरा भी वक्त आ गया है कि like you were saying when you're ready for it you'll meet one.
Yeah.
So
and you'll have experiences. You just have to be open to receive them. You need to be understanding about it. So Anu and I have been blessed to have even meditated in a room in Vrindavan, which is hidden, where Paramahansa Yogananda meditated. People don't even know such a room exists in Vrindavan.
Wow.
But that's her lineage of the family, and we were there in that mandir in the ashram, and at her side of the Maharaj Ji just said, अरे तुम ऊपर गई हो, वहाँ पे तुमने ये वाला कमरा देखा है? हम दोनों बैठे, हमने कहा नहीं. अच्छा तुम दोनों जाओ, अच्छा आप ना भैया इनको लेके जाओ. And we just went up, and then when we came down, then he said, you know, this is the place where even Paramahansa Yogananda has meditated. And I said, wow. And the vibrations in the room were very, very different. So we sat there for 5-10 minutes, meditated, and came back.
yeah.
So such
Yeah.
are experiences which just happen to you.
Yeah.
So yeah.
इनक्रेडिबल
Yeah.
इनक्रेडिबल. एक बात मुझे सही भी लगती है. गुरुजी ने बोली थी कहीं पे सोशल मीडिया पे ही सुना है ये तो कि डेड बॉडी एंड लाइव बॉडी व्हाट्स द डिफरेंस. चेतना का डिफरेंस होता है कि जब जिसमें है एनर्जी जान प्राण जो भी है वो है. So pran is the only differentiating factor, like energy, that life is the only differentiating factor between a body and a dead body and a alive body. But how much time do we spend understanding what is it? What is that life? What is that? Because we भौतिक जगत में तो बहुत वक्त बिताते हैं हम. Like you hustled and you made money and stuff. And how much time do we spend on understanding what is the meaning of life itself? Some people actually easily bypass this question and saying, हमें सोचना ही नहीं है भैया. हमें पता है there's only science. You live only once and then you die and that's all about it. And that's how it is.
lot of things
जो
come
है यही है.
to my mind. Lot of things coming to my mind with what you
Tell
said.
me.
But I think I will not speak much. But I'll just
Please speak much.
नहीं but एक बहुत छोटी सी नहीं चीज़ें तो बहुत सारी दिमाग में ही बताने की.
हाँ.
But I think I'm not a ज्ञानी to tell you anything like that or say anything of those things. But one small thing for sure, जो आपने प्राण की बात कही थी, ये मेरे को एक सेम चीज़ याद आई. पहले बात तो रघुराय सर ने बोली थी जब मैं फोटोग्राफी में उनको कुछ दिखा रहा था. तो ही सेड कि यू नो मंदिर, मस्जिद, गुरुद्वारा और खंडर में क्या फर्क है सुंदरेश? तो आई वाज ब्लैंक. आई सेड सर सब स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं. ही सेड बेटा रूह का फर्क है. रूह, मंदिर, मस्जिद, गुरुद्वारा में हम लोग बसते हैं तो हमारी रूह है, और वो खंडर है क्योंकि वहाँ कोई इंसान जाता नहीं है. That's why you get negative vibes and positive vibes. And very similar something my Guruji had told me, कि why is it that going to a mandir is considered important, while you can also be just at home and pray to God.
Yeah.
He says nothing but collective vibrations. So collective prayers, collective energies, collective energies flow. Suddenly that place, you go and you say, यार मेरे को तो बड़ा अच्छा लगा, मैं गोल्डन टेम्पल गया था, वेरी नाइस है, मैं वैष्णो देवी गया था या तिरुपति बालाजी गया था, and I felt
और इस्कॉन गए थे,
और इस्कॉन गए थे, किसी भी मंदिर गए थे, घर के पास वाले मंदिर गए थे, but it's a collective energy, collective things which come. And one small thing on the Pran that you said, I think when you said about a difference of being born and dead, but I think you're born with your breath. The moment your breath is no more, they declare you dead. और अगर उसी को प्राण बोलते हैं, I tell people, if you can just follow your breath, but consciously 5 times a day. For example, if I'm talking to you in a podcast right now, and if I am conscious of the fact that my breath is now coming out, consciously my hand is touching my right hand, I can feel the touch while I'm talking to you, to feel the fact that I'm sitting on the chair, my right arm, elbow is feeling the little leather on the chair, or my hands are touching, they're coming out, and I've taken an in breath and an out, but consciously. If you can do everything in life and just being conscious about it, it will make a world of a difference. World of a difference. And if you can do this 5 times a day.
Right.
So not like that you sit और आपने प्रणाम किया कि हाँ मैंने 5 बार कर लिया, नहीं. But in general life. So
it brings you back to the moment. आपने जैसे बोला, मैंने किया, and I felt those.
If you can do this regularly, at least 5 times a day, you see the difference where it will come to you.
Wonderful.
This is again from experience, but I don't know if it's right or wrong, please. I'm no guru.
No. We are not positioning you as a guru.
No, I'm saying I don't. I'm no
You're just a wonderful person.
Proclaim or say, but this is something which I personally like, and that's what I just shared with you as a friend.
Sure, absolutely. No. We're talking to you because you're wonderful, and you have these lovely experiences.
Thank you.
About the collective consciousness, I'm reminded of an experience I had while I was a student in the UK. We walked from Cardiff to Carmarthen. So long story short, दोस्त बोला था नए साल पे क्या करना है, हमें बोला लंदन चलते हैं, वहाँ पूरी दुनिया होगी, भीड़ होगी, फायरवर्क्स होगा थेम्स पे और वो सब, तो कुछ अलग करते हैं, क्या करना है. तो he said, वहाँ हम चलते हैं, लेट्स गो टू स्कंदा वेल टेम्पल. So we were in south of Wales, Skanda Vale is in west of Wales. तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, पर मंदिर चले जाएंगे, कितनी बड़ी बात है क्या. He said no, we'll walk there. I thought, now that makes it interesting. It's end of the year, 30 और 31 दिसंबर को हम लोग कि 2 दिन चलेंगे, and we were not like athletes or anything. दोनों अनफिट लोग थे, पर हमने वॉक किया 60 किलोमीटर 2 दिन, 120 किलोमीटर वो पूरा हुआ. I had no idea what to expect. So I went to Skanda. We reached finally. और बीच में जो हुआ, that's a story for probably a drinking session. बीच में we stopped at some really lovely bars of smallest of towns of Wales.
Very pretty one.
Where we had no business being there, right? And we had conversations with like a 90-year-old man sitting at that bar, and those were like priceless things, right? So वो सब हुआ, वो सब करने के बाद हम eventually पहुँचे, टूटे हुए शरीर में, थके हुए. उन्होंने हमें दे गिव अस अ कैरावान टू स्टे इन, चेंज. 31 की रात को हम पहुंचे, तो वहाँ पे कुछ अखंड पूजा होती है उस दिन रात को, और सारे अंग्रेज कर रहे हैं, और हमें चेंज करने का टाइम मिला 5 मिनट का, और हम चेंज करके बाहर गए. आई वॉज वेयरिंग फुल ऑन -8 और -12 डिग्रीज टेम्परेचर ऊपर जाके था. I was wearing full on proper सर्दी के कपड़े. My friend Sujit Rajan, I don't know where he's from, कर्नाटका में भी. बट सो सुजित ने क्या किया, ही जस्ट वेयर धोती, -12 डिग्री टेम्परेचर में. बाहर आए हैं हम, अखंड पूजा चल रही है, और लेक है वहाँ पे, लेक फ्रोजन है, और उस पूजा में जो एनर्जी है, जो मंत्रास, वो देयर चैंटिंग मंत्रास नॉन स्टॉप फॉर 2 hours. लाइक गर्मी है उस माहौल में, वहाँ पे -12 डिग्री में, और वो सबने ही सिर्फ धोती पहनी हुई थी. इट वॉज अनबिलीवेबल, एंड इट वॉज like the collective energy of that place. It was insane.
Correct.
So, Baji, this was my Cardiff to Carmarthen experience. Quick question I have about Stoics, this Stoic philosophy called Memento Mori, which is, they have a calendar in which आपकी ज़िंदगी के जितने, like how many weeks you have in your life are all mentioned there. So as a week goes by, you cross one, like you're done, right? And you have a limited number left. So my question to you was, uh, how does it being aware of your mortality help you live a better life? Or have you thought
So,
about your mortality?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
And it helps you plan and prepare for sure. So when I think about, and I travel a lot, and in travel anything can happen. So you do wonder what will happen to your family behind you or things like that. So I think today I'm again blessed when I think about it today to say that I don't know how many weeks or days or hours that one has, including myself.
Yeah.
But I also believe that as many things as you can keep it clear and simple, it's easier for the family behind you too. So today, very proudly, I can say that I'm debt free. We are debt free.
Yeah.
I have nothing exclusively in my name. I think all my bank accounts are joint with my wife. All property ownerships are joint. Nominations are in place wherever. So there's nothing that if the family was dependent and they didn't know, or they can't access anything at any given point of time. So there's nothing per se hidden. So I try and work on this philosophy more to the level that I think as time grows, as we can get over our debts and live a debt-free life, it's better. And ये तो अपने ऊपर है, कभी भी कोई आदमी for whatever reason in life अपर लिमिट तो बनाता रहता है, पर कभी अपने लिए लोअर लिमिट नहीं बनाता.
What does that mean?
To say that मैं इतने में ही खुश हूँ, इस सूक्ष्मता or whatever you call it as, I'm happy in that.
Wow.
And people don't define that. People always define, I need this better, I want a better car, a better house, a better this, a better this. But nobody says that, okay, this will be my base. I maybe cannot go below that. But I'll be happy in for example, a 600 square feet, 1-bedroom apartment would be good enough for me to survive and live happily.
Okay.
Right? You don't define that for whatever reason. You don't define to say that I'm happy with a 4-wheeler. It need not necessarily be a Maybach or an S-Class, but it can be any small car that gives you the purpose of there and there. So I think somewhere I try and define that lower limit as well. And also train my mind to say that even if I have some luxuries, tomorrow they're not, I should be happy in that because I chose the lower limit. So if tomorrow I have to fall back there, I think I'm okay with that.
That's amazing. That's I haven't heard that before. So defining the lower limit is definitely important then. But then how does one go about chasing the upper limit as well? Matlab,
one should always
contentment.
No. So what is contentment? I'll tell you one thing. You should never stop at the upper limit, and I'll tell you a reason why. This one is contentment, and that defines your lower limit.
Right.
That's where the contentment comes from. But why should one not stop going high? Because I feel few of us, including yourself, me, or some people around here, are blessed to have an able mind and an able body. You should earn for sure. There's no scripture, no books which say you should not. Where and how you spend is your call. But you feed people who are incapable of earning. You support, I think what your brother does, it's such a wonderful thing he does.
Oh yeah, you've supported him in past. I can't forget that. Yeah.
So how does one spend that money is irrespective. So don't always connect earning money with just luxuries. Right? You can, the moment you start defining a lower limit and defining a contentment level, you can yet say I'm happy with this, but this much money, I'll use it for other people who are incapable of. Right. God didn't give them a healthy mind, a healthy body,
All the
to function
resources.
and all the resources of various conditions
wherever
which
they
made them where they are.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's for us to help the society, help the people as many as we can. So don't define an upper limit.
Right.
I always tell to people, and don't ever say that I've earned enough. What's wrong in if you have the capability and the ability to earn? What stops you from being a millionaire, from being a billionaire, from a multi-billionaire? It's okay. Where you spend today, even a Clinton Foundation does a lot of work. Gates
Yeah.
Foundation does a lot of work.
Yeah.
And there are so many innumerable celebrities I know who donate, who do so many big things for charity. They don't even announce it.
Right.
They do it quietly. In fact, कहते हैं कि दान वो है जो आपके लेफ्ट या राइट को भी नहीं पता लगना चाहिए हाथ को कि कहाँ गया और कैसे गया. So I think never stop if you are capable to earn. Strive to earn more. There's nothing wrong about it. With the right means, of course.
Of course.
Don't try and कि जी मैं smuggling करूँगा या कुछ गलत काम करूँगा and then that's a quick way to earn money. No, not from that standpoint, but from your own hard work and dedication. If you can, you must earn, and then it's up to you where you want to spend it. On your luxuries, so be it. On helping others, so be it. But that's your call what you want to do with the money.
Okay then. अब लोग मारने वाले हैं अगर हमने DRG की बात नहीं की तो. So you're the founder of DRG.
Yes.
I think along with a couple of other people, or
Yes.
were you the one who?
No. Few
initially-
of us together. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. So how did DRG come into being?
So I think again, story starts with 2013. Also the year when we started this company. And that was a time.
How did you become a runner first?
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's coming to that because I was a little overweight at that point of time and started going to a nearby park to see if I can walk a bit. Being an outdoor guy, I could never use the gym. So go out, walk. And there I met and see people who were running around. So I met this couple. You know Sangeeta Saikia, and Sangeeta and her husband Kishore were running, and I would see them. यार मैं उस पार्क का 1 किलोमीटर का लूप था और मैं 1 किलोमीटर में लगा पाता था पूरा. वो नॉन स्टॉप 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sangeeta Saikia. Oh, both of them. Her husband also.
And her husband also. So they were absolutely regular runners at that time. And I would just keep, so one odd day I got the courage and stopped them and said, यार ये कैसे कर लेते हो यार? तू भी आजा, तू भी कर लेगा हमारे साथ. वो बातों में started kind of adding up 200 meters more, 500 meters more, and so on and so forth. You know how the journey of a runner goes. So one odd day, Sangeeta Saikia only said that, hey, there is this 10-kilometer happening at India Gate, and she got in touch with a few runners, and she said, let's all come together and run. And she took me and this dear friend of ours. Huh?
Ekedi run si.
एक कोई run, organized run नहीं सीगी, just few runners came together.
Okay.
India Gate to Rashid Bhavan and back. And that was 10 kilometers.
I see.
So I remember going with another dear friend called Sonam, who's also staying in Vasant Kunj close to us. And Sangeeta, with 3 were running.
Okay.
And 3 of us go to India Gate. And there I meet Elfie the first time. And Keshav Tana was there. Keshav Manik Tana.
Oh.
And Sanjeev Chhabra.
The guy who lives close to Chandigarh, that side now.
Yes,
So
correct.
how was
correct,
he
correct,
a part
correct.
of DRG then? He was in Delhi back then.
So he was in Delhi back then, and then
Okay.
he moved much later back there. So,
So
he
was
in
he one
Delhi.
of the founding members?
So he was not a founding member, but these were runners we met that day.
Okay.
And we come back, and then I said, can we start a running group? And honestly, the thought process came because I was also, along with a few friends, in 2010 founded a photography group because I wanted to start photography, and there was this Facebook page called Living Your Passion.
Okay.
It died down now, and they had multiple passions that people should come together and live their passions. So I said, "It is acha medium," and went somewhere to Lodi Road, I remember, and started doing. Met some fellow amateurs like us and to pick up photography.
That's where you met Biplav also.
That's the first time I met Biplav. Absolutely correct, and a few more. From there, we picked up photography. Then we made up a big group called DPAG, Delhi Photo Enthusiast Guild, wherein we would do photo walks every weekend and learn from each other. And started teaching and learning and for free, and let people come, use my gear, use my camera, use my lens, understand all this before you end up spending lakhs and lakhs on buying it. So with the same thought process today, it's also still one of the largest photography enthusiast group on of the country on Facebook, but it's a completely free group. So the thought came again to create a group and let some like-minded people come together, because running scene in India was just about developing then, just about. There was Running and Living, which was
As
doing
the event
some events.
organizers.
Some event organizer was doing some events,
Yeah.
but there was hardly any groups and hardly any people to be find around.
Yeah.
So I told Sangeeta, and Sangeeta said, "Nahi, ye kuch nahi hota," I said, no, we'll make it as one of the best, and she's all the biggest.
You were the early adopters of technology then. कि Facebook group is a thing.
हाँ, तो हमने Facebook group बनाया. We made a WhatsApp group,
Hmm.
which yet remains, and slowly, gradually, I think more and more people got connected,
Yeah.
and that's how DRG just came into being. So more than anything else, I found a great set of friends. So probably originally it was just me, Sonam, and Sangeeta who were the admins for that page, or admins for the Facebook page, or this thing, and we would make a weekend event. People will come together, run together, and just start becoming friends. And then over a period of time, we realized that the group is increasing. We kept on adding more and more admins. So Alfie became an admin, Rahul Verma is an admin today, Ashish Chiller, Vinita. They all are admins to the group. And honestly, today, since I don't run or I've stopped running, it's they who are actually leading and taking it forward.
Oh yeah, Vinny is killing it. Vinny is doing
Vinny's
very,
really
very
cracking
active.
it very well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but they've been kind enough to still let me be part of it, though I don't contribute anything. They're the ones who do it, and I'm really happy that I'm still around with them.
Mhm.
Though I would have wanted to leave just the way I left TPEG long back. I did photography and picked up an eye to how to click a picture and learned it. Today, once you learn, then medium is no longer just an iPhone is good enough for you to take the best of the shots, because we don't want those pixels. We're not printing to the large screen or selling it on commercial basis. It's more of a hobby. And I think that's how running came into being. DRG came into being, but very, very proud because we came up. There are people like Preeti who helped us design our logo.
Preeti Zaveri.
She helped us design our logo. I can never forget that. That's how, because suddenly we realized कि यार ये सिर्फ DRG नहीं, तो logo लेके आते हैं. और बस एक अच्छा सा ग्रुप बन गया. बड़े अच्छे से लोग आए, बड़े अच्छे से लोग बनते गए. फिर ये हुआ कि उसी में से ग्रुप बढ़ते गए. सब अपने अपने एरियाज के ग्रुप बनाने लगे. And I think today, but there's nothing, as long as it's not commercial, you're not fighting with anybody. It's just to come together, learn from each other. If you can help me improve my pace, and there's a method to increase your pace.
Yeah.
Or you can help me to increase my distance, and that's also another methodology to how to increase your distance.
Sure.
And that's how it's done. So God was kind. I've never done a full marathon till date. I've never been an ultra till date. I've done about 28 odd or 29 odd half marathons.
We talked about it before the recording.
Yeah.
Very good.
And a decent amount of pacing as well, both in Bombay and in
Yes.
Delhi, which was a great experience. It was the first time I did it. I was, I think, just too overwhelmed because a lot of people came and thanked me because it helped them achieve their goals.
Yeah.
And then I realized that the people you start with, you don't end up with. वो रास्ते में बस छूट जाती है, but you have to keep running.
But that's
So
life
interesting.
also.
That's life also. So I think that's how DRG came into being. I'm really, really very proud of being part of the origin journey, being part of the process. And it's never anybody's just one guy's effort. It's always a collective effort. So I think Sangeeta gave in a lot at that point of time. Even today, as I said, Vinny gives it, Rahul gives it, Ashish Chiller gives it.
Yeah.
And they all have made what it is. But today, from a photography, from my running, you build friends for life. I mean, that's how I came to know you. I mean, we've known each other like that.
Absolutely.
Or Meenal or Tanya or anybody else that, you're just together and I love the culture.
But
It's
tell
so
me
beautiful.
exactly. So good word that you use there. What's different about DRG than other groups? There's something about it.
No, I think it's just being the oldest and more number of people. I think
that's definitely a differentiator. But I think there's something about DRG that it has I guess, the maximum number of nicest people around. So I don't know why that is. It could just be a personal bias, personal.
No, nothing like
observation.
that. I think it's see,
Yeah.
you guys made sun chasers. You
Yeah.
you were always so multiple groups came up into being, and you were
Sure.
more focused on ultras.
Sure.
Some people focus on. So there are local groups in Gurgaon.
Yeah.
I'm also part of them. Runbugs, for example. But Runbugs again, they've all been dear friends. They still are dear friends. We yet get together. But I think the community whole is very, very good.
Sure.
One of the
Beautiful.
best runs I remember is doing a run in Amsterdam, and I think half of Delhi was there. So
Wow.
it was such a beautiful feeling, imagine 100 plus people staying in the same hotel.
Amazing.
And what a feeling. So it's just too good. So I think
वो एम्स्टर्डम आपका गांव बन गया है वहाँ पे घर से लेके आए यहाँ पे
so but yeah, running has given friends for life.
Amazing. Yeah.
Great experiences, great learnings, great everything.
Brilliant.
Learn more endurances. Running taught me when you had tough times how to just go and have a run and let the mind go free.
Yeah.
And you must do something or the other to keep
Sure.
tensions. तो रहती हैं, अभी भी रहती है. Yeah. Big or small, but
Sure.
I have always problems. Everybody, I always tell people, जिसकी बड़ी सैलरी उसके उतने बड़े खर्चे पर उसकी उतनी बड़ी टेंशनें भी हैं. तो सबके साथ ऐसी होता है. So that's okay.
So one quick piece of advice जो आप कह रहे थे कि they've been kind enough to keep you in the group.
Yeah.
Please don't leave it, man. Like don't leave it. That's just
I
क्योंकि these are more about relationships.
no, it's a relationship will
when-
remain. It's not that
Even if it's like a WhatsApp group and you're inactive and you never see it.
I'm hardly
it's-
active there.
हाँ, I'm saying and me
No,
too.
so I will not leave. It's
But,
Diyaji is
yeah.
always close to my heart and it will remain.
Yeah, it just feels
when you start something, it's always close to you.
Correct,
and will remain there.
yeah.
But at times you do feel odd that यार मैं तो contribute कर नहीं रहा, वो लोग कर रहे हैं.
I know. you
So
feel that,
and
but-
you feel a little odd. You're not running.
yeah.
So it's
But still, just be there. Yeah.
I'll be there, okay, on your request.
Yeah. And yeah, wonderful. This is just the kind of conversation that I was looking for.
Thank you so much.
पूरी नहीं है क्योंकि मुझे लगता है I can do like even longer episodes with you.
मुझे तो ये
So-
समझ में नहीं आ रहा कि
कौन सुनता
कहाँ
है?
टाइम चला गया. I don't know.
You
how
enjoy
to
like
ask.
है ना time spent by
I
right?
had a great time, and I
had a good time.
I think
Yeah.
it was more from. So you didn't tell me any questions. We
Correct.
didn't discuss anything. It
Nothing was
just free
planned.
flowing. Nothing was planned.
Yeah.
But I think whatever I spoke was purely from the heart.
That's the format of this podcast.
Maybe some things were wrongly spoken. So please forgive me for saying some things wrong. But I think it just came up whatever I felt at
Yeah.
that spur of the moment or that point
Yeah.
of time.
Sure.
But honestly, thank you so much. Thank you. I had never done this
you.
before,
Mm.
but truly enjoyed. I think enjoyed the conversation more than anything
Me,
else.
me,
And
me too. I loved
yeah,
it. Loved
so
every bit
thank
of
you
it.
so much.
Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.